and welcome to the Up Zone where understanding politics is made simple. We are your hosts, Mr. Elmer Floyd and myself, Tisha S. Waddell, both former electeds, Mr. Floyd for House District 43 at the state of North Carolina, and myself for District 3 in the city of Fayetteville. And as many of you have already been made aware via our Facebook post or some other form of media, our third host, Mr. Ted Moan, will not be joining us again. And not because he didn't want to, but because God said otherwise. And Mr. Floyd, I think you and I both had kind of been preparing ourselves because thankfully his family have been keeping us in the loop. We were extremely protective of Ted's privacy, as we would have wanted for either one of us to be for the other. But very quickly, we wrapped a couple of weeks ago. We wrapped our last show with him, and I remember him, letting us both know, hey, I got to get off. We got 30 minutes to do the show today because I got to get on the road. And within, I think it was what, like 7 hours?
7 hours.
Yeah, we were getting a message from his son saying that he had been rushed to the hospital and was in essentially critical condition. And we were praying for him, and we were, just really remaining hopeful. And like I said, I had occasion to chat with them one last time, not knowing that that would be the last time. But Mr. Floyd, you never know that your last time saying hey to somebody or saying I'll see you later is really going to be your last time. You never know.
True. So,
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought 7 hours later, someone who gets up and said, I got to go and I'll see you all later, that you get a call in the reverse of the later. I
Right.
mean, it's sort of hard to deal with. And then out of the respect for the family, we would ask to keep that information to ourselves.
Right.
And I'm the type person, if you ask me to do something
I'm
and
gonna
I
do
say
that.
I would do it, then I'm going to do it.
That's right.
That's just me. So many people was concerned about Ted not being, on the show, but I couldn't say anything because the family asked us not to discuss, his being. So I didn't say anything to you.
Right.
I
And
don't
I
even
really
know.
I really appreciate that. Like Mr. Floyd, it's the hard times that let you know who you can count on. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh
I know
yeah.
I can, yeah, I can call you and I can tell you some stuff. And if I tell you don't tell nobody, I know you're not gonna tell nobody.
No, no, because you had that trust in me,
Right.
and that's the key. The trust that people see in you. Now, there's some people that is can't hold anything.
Yeah, they got to be the first to let you know.
You know,
They got to be the first to let you know. And I've always, like, I've never made it a secret. My best friend will tell you, I am that girl who, when I start seeing people post on social media that somebody has passed away, if it's not their mama, or their child, or like their family, it annoys me because social media is not the platform that you use to do that. Like, you let the family do what the family's going to do. So I want to say to Ted's children, Kyle and Amanda, to his siblings, to his parents, we're grieving this loss with you. Like, Ted wasn't just our co-host, but he was somebody that we could count on. Like, he had become a very close acquaintance for me over the years of working with him. And I would love how he would be like, look, you just couldn't rattle. You couldn't rattle Mr. Floyd. You could rattle.
true.
You could rattle me. I'm rattleable. But you just couldn't rattle him. And you could, I take for granted because they would kind of mistreat him in a way and then still be a, because Ted just couldn't be rattled. But I really think, and I want y'all to know this, who thought you were getting over on Ted, I think he got the last laugh in. Got anything him? I just think enough you in that way to take it personally.
Well, the first really relationship that I had with him prior to, he with us was, as you know, I'm very, show height is one of my pet projects and
Yes.
pet. And so, I was able to work with Ted through the council to look at how can we annex Shaw Heights. Okay, so we tried to do it, and then we came up with the best way to do that is to EJT. I mean, extrajudiciary jurisdiction, wherein that the city would look at it, give the city time enough to study it, and then later, annex it. So, we was able to work out that deal because Ted had a vision, and that was Shaw Heights was going to grow with or without the city.
Mm-hmm.
And if it grows without the city, it's going to have city services and no revenue.
Right.
And
Right.
Ted saw the picture. It's going to grow. It's lie between two interchanges. Let's become a part of this economic growth.
Yeah.
So that was my first relationship. I knew him,
Yeah.
but that was my first relationship with him is to see how skillful, he handled things. And like you said, on the program, whatever, we would talk on Monday and we would sort of say, Ted, this is what we need in order to have the program on Thursday. In
Right.
fact, I have it ready for you on Tuesday. I'll
We'll be
send it.
ready. Yeah.
So
And so I mean,
just to take it
y'all,
for
yeah, and I just know need for everybody to know, don't expect those graphics from us because that was all Ted. That was all
yeah.
Ted.
Yeah, and he would put it together for us. Like I said, we would talk Monday, he would put it together, and we would see it Tuesday, and it would give us time to review for Thursday. And
Yes.
so when you get that data, we just didn't get it that day and were prepared to discuss it. No, Ted Ted was was a number person, and that's why I
Absolutely.
truly.
Absolutely. And his family had real service here. So there was forth about that even here. I know, Mr. Floyd, we just need everybody. We weren't caught off guard because we were kept, very well, but we did want to keep our mouth shut because it wasn't anybody's business to tell.
And you're absolutely correct because you don't know how it's going to affect the family when they ask you not to say something, and
Right.
all of a sudden they read it, you know, and they know that they only trusted you with the information, and that's heartbreaking.
Absolutely. So Ted, we are up there, we love, we miss you. But we're not good. We were talking about that. So don't y'all call us as not your regular employer. Like if you we need some we need a I think placeable. And so I think it would be very difficult. Now, Mr. Floyd, I have if I'm not mistaken, an announcement for forum.
Now, we're gonna have our forum now. You're speaking of our
This forum.
okay. There are several other forums prior to, but since Teach you are doing the legwork, I just give the date and let you provide.
Okay.
And that's September the 4th.
It
And it's gonna
is.
be a group.
It's not the 4th, Mr. Floyd. It's the
14th. That's 14th.
The
I know I'm
14th.
end of age, but I can count some numbers. I'm pretty good with money.
You still count, yeah.
I still can count. So it's on the 14th, and it's gonna be live, and it's gonna be really, really unique. It's gonna be different than the one that you've seen in the past.
Absolutely. And so our objective is cast our net as wide as we possibly can. We have we're working the studio that we used to record our podcast in. We're gonna have the candidates come in. There's going to be some questions that will be asked of them. There will be a moderator. I saw something really interesting, which I really want to try, Mr. Floyd. Somebody said, I think it was takes the pictures. Frank Manus. He said that it would be interesting to see candidates ask each other questions. So I think I'm going to ask the candidates who confirm attendance to send in a question that they would like to ask. I think that would be so interesting. We're going to be streaming our YouTube and our Facebook page the 4:30 and ending promptly at 8:30. We have had the 13 RSVP affirmatively. Charles Evans, who was a mayoral candidate, who asked, who is two candidate affirmed she will be attending. 5 incumbent, he will. Laura Musler, 2 confirmed attendance. Justin Herbie, this 5 attendance. Has confirmed thesis. 2 confirmed attendance. Several other candidates include the district seat attendance, but
But let me ask you, I'm surprised that we heard from Commissioner Evans because when he was running for the U.S. House seat, he was extended the invitation to come, and and he did not appear.
right.
Also, the mayor was extended the invitation to come on our program, and he did not appear. I was just surprised when you sent me the email
I know,
that
I know, but I'll tell you this, and I say this for full transparency. Evans understands the impact of showing up in this instance, and I believe that he also understands the negative implication if his if the incumbent for the seat declines the invitation. Because I think that sometimes people try to play us short because they don't like me, Mr. Floyd. I'm not gonna say us
well,
because it ain't you,
you
it's
said
me.
that now. I mean, I know that, but you said that now. I mean,
But
you
this the
said
thing, whether you like me or not, we are affording you access to our audience, and our audience wants to hear from you. So it's not about me. And I want to remind everybody, Mr. Floyd, I am not the moderator for this event. We are just the hosts. We are not the moderators. So you don't have to answer any questions. I'm not asking any. You don't have to me. Like, you can show up. I don't care if you want to ignore me from start to finish, because this is not about me. This is about providing our platform so that our audience can hear from their candidates.
I think that I think that we have a good audience,
I
and
think so too. I'm always surprised, Mr. Floyd, when people say to me, "Oh, I watch your program." Like that time when Veronica Jones, when I called her to give condolences for the passing of her mother, and she was like, "Girl, my mother loved y'all show." It just always surprises me to hear not only who, but the caliber of person that is listening to our program.
well, one of the places that I frequent, on a regular basis, and I think you mentioned yesterday that you was there.
Right.
I thought I was employed by Lowe's.
They
and the
get all
number
my
of
little
people,
coin. They do. Yeah.
and the number of people that say that they listen to our program. When I'm walking around in Lowe's, trying to get some some goods so I can save some money and do
Right.
the work myself.
Right.
It's a caliber of people that you wouldn't think that would stop and listen to your program. So I think that our base is growing because we trying to get people to understand the importance. So if people are not willing to work with difficult people, everybody is not going to be good.
Right.
So you
And
have to,
some people are going to be good, but they're still going to be difficult.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, and two, you may change him or her to vote for you. Okay, and that's what you want is votes. So the greater you extend the arm of fellowship, the greater your opportunity to receive votes,
those
and
votes. Let
that's
me
what
ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Floyd. And I don't mean to put you on the spot, and you don't have to go into detail. But have you seen the mayor's rack card that's circulating?
I had a chance to view it,
Okay.
and I had a chance to view it.
Okay, y'all know I'm
I
opinionated.
observed, I had a chance to review it, and sir, I look at the, I looked at the text of it, and I just had some concerns with the way the way the text and
I couldn't get past the pictures. I looked at the text, but I couldn't get past the pictures. And let me just say this, because I think that everybody should have positive feedback. And when I say positive, I don't mean reaffirming that you did a good job. I mean good quality feedback. If Mayor Colvin should happen to be listening, or any member of his team, Mayor Colvin, you already have a bad reputation where women are concerned. So I think that you should probably make sure your materials don't to that reputation. You had good messaging. Like I think, and I like the fact that the messaging Fayetteville has accomplished, not I've done. Because sometimes it comes across very disingenuous, even though under my leadership, because also, but the message bothered me. Surrounded by women who weren't even paying attention to you or to what was going on in the picture. It seemed like everybody was kind of focused on something else. It was not a cohesive image to utilize for the message that you're trying to get across. The women were beautiful. I don't even know who these women were. They were beautiful, great. Um, and then you had um, uh, Glenn Adams in the picture. He would indicate the horror. His Glenn is not a man who you utilize his image. You understand what I'm saying? Like there would be a conversation about that, I would think, beforehand. So it indicates some form of endorsement, possibly.
well, when I looked at it, I pushed aside the pictures.
You
And
looked
I
at the
looked at,
message.
yeah, I mean, I pushed
And I'm a
aside
I'm the
the
nation.
yeah, so yeah, I pushed aside that and looked at the way the message was provided to the to the reader. But
Right. And let me
I think
be very, I don't want anybody missing saying. When I say that Mayor Colvin has a bad reputation with women pandering, I his private time. Respect in that dais. We have observed him on a number of occasions direct disrespect to the female on council. We've like, this is the reputation, but also the picture of him by him wasn't a flatterer. And I've seen much
well,
better photos of him.
I think that that's the first. I think that that's the first, and I think that
It's rodeo though, Mr. Floyd.
I know,
Felt
I know, but
felt like a rushed attempt to hurry up and get something out there.
again, I think that as the race, this is the first. I think that as the race moves forward, you're going to see, different types of flyers that's going to come out from all of
Who was
the.
the target audience for that flyer, Mr. Floyd? Because you know, look, let's talk marketing. You got to have a target audience when you put out a message. Was that for Black women? Because if it was a miss. I just want you, because I'm a Black woman, it was a miss. Or was it for Black
Well,
men? Which voter was that for?
what I'm saying now is that my party, and I say this to you, have sort of disregarded the African American male,
Was
and
that for
they have
y'all?
more so to the black female. Okay. And I'm just saying that that's how our party look today. Is that they are looking more towards the black female because they figure the black female is going to is going to vote and the black male is not. But if you're going to run a campaign, it must be inclusive. You need the black male, just as well. And the black male would say
And he has
that
a,
you're
and
forgetting about me.
absolutely this, and then I'm gonna get off this. But he has a beautiful fiance. She's polished, very well. He's got beautiful daughters. So if you target black female, bring them into your like incorporate materials because we love to see the. I've always said, and I can't no take this from him. He daughters. He's an excellent father when it comes to, at least outwardly, when it comes to how he is daughters. Let that side of you. What else is this is free marketing professional. Uh, free brand. Don't brand yourself. That first, don't use those pictures. To the campaign. I've always been very astute. Pull in your daughters. Pull in your fiance. Like pull in these the in your that work that you've done, and let your campaign resonate or reflect right along because you can't get too much. Move it right along. That's something else you want to add to it.
No, no, no. I just want people to look at which one of the four, meet their
Good.
qualifications yeah, to serve this great city, and that is,
Earlier, do you have a pick?
I think all four of them are good.
I like it. I love.
I think all four of them are good candidates. It's just
I love.
how you going to is how you going to market it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's you can't market that by staying away from the public that you want to vote for you. That's all I can say.
Right. So be at the forum. But
That's all I can
SVP
say.
first. We will not accommodate SVP first. Mr. Floyd, let has going on because there's a of the performance county. I can't find put my page. But what are your thoughts about this building?
Well, I had opportunity from time to time to watch TV, and they always say location, location, location. I think it's
Okay.
a bit. I think it's a beautiful facility, but like I said in the past, location. But it's too late
Okay.
to say location because it's already determined where the facility is going to be located.
Right.
Uh, it's a beautiful rendition of the building. Again, you know, you're taking away 900 parking spaces that's out at the crown. You're taking away some, and then you're hoping that everyone around there would allow them to utilize their parking, in order to accommodate that. And there's not that many streets that you can park on
Right.
downtown. But that's that's their 31. That's the $131 million project, and how they're going
Right.
to pay for this. So they got to start now about uh, getting the obligation. If not, I'll use their hotel occupancy taxes in order to offset that. As a way to.
So some of the comments that I was hearing was the does it fit in town? Do you share that? Do you feel like
I'm just saying location, location, location,
I'm
and location.
tolerant because that's my own. I don't care what the building looks like. I don't care if it seemed to be too small. Do you share that sentiment, or do you think it will be
Well,
amply sized?
well, I mean, based on what they say that's going to be inside there, it may accommodate, our community, and it moved from 2,500 seats to 3,000.
Okay.
So that's a 500 different seat capacity. Then they were saying also that it's going to have multiple rooms that you can use for different things. But
Okay.
again, the only parking deck that's about parking is the city parking deck. That's down,
Okay.
that's downtown. And so parking is going to be a problem right across the street from there. You have the detention center, which has that parking unless they are going to acquire that parking acquire that. No, no, the county's not going to acquire the land. So I'm sorry, Tisha, I won't say that, but they're not going to do that, and that's going to be a problem when you have concerts and all those things there. So,
Okay.
but it's too late now. So again, it's a beautiful building. I just hope that the city will cooperate with them as it relates to their signs that the city has posted. The city has a sign that's posted.
Operation.
Yeah, the city has a
Like that was
sign. The city has a sign that's posted, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm summarizing, depending on the event. Okay, that the city would charge parking for this space. So
right.
the average person would have to find out whether the city has a venue or not. You know, so I don't know. It just confusion with the parking that's going to be that downtown.
We'll get some to try and articulate the parking. But speaking of situation, the chairwoman of the Cumberland, the county commissioners for Cumberland County, made a statement in regards to the homeless day center. So we saw that the homeless community did a sleep in front of the new homeless day center prior to the day center opening. They did this sleep in, like I guess they went and slept out on the grounds in front of the day center in protest to the fact that there's no overnight sheltering at the day center. So the chairwoman of the county, Tony Stewart, indicated that the county and the city don't work together. They're not working together. Now, Mr. Floyd, those two, that's probably anybody who's followed politics. We're not disagreeing at all with our comment. In fact, I think it's quite honorable. Somebody the quiet part out loud. We don't work together because for so long it has been this illusion of no, it's fine. We're like this lie that's been fed in the community. You pay attention, you know it's a lie, and one of the biggest indicators that it's a lie is this $30 million bond passed for a 911 call. City and county.
Now it's a call center. Now I agree with you on the bond part, but there's going to be a $30 million one single line connecting those two facilities together, which the taxpayer paid $30 million to connect. They're gonna build it, but they're gonna communicate with each other through one single opera.
Right, and it all boiled. I did had some pushback on in Tony's because she was, how can the city and county work? Her answer was a little bit vague, but I will tell you directly the issue between the city. Remember it now. Maybe it's changed, but as I remember it, it was about control and about because when it came to
that's
go
good.
ahead.
I mean, that's good. But both both of these, city and county, provide services. How can I provide the best service at the most reasonable cost?
That's how you. That's how you
generate. Yeah. I mean, two
that's
call centers.
that's the question because this is the question. And the county, if they came together and answered this question, fix for how the county work together.
Services.
How can I
provide the best service at the most reasonable cost to the taxpayer?
Yeah.
And that's the goal. I mean, you want to say that I got a call center, $30 million, that I'm going to have to increase property taxes in order to offset this facility, you know, so in that I can put one extension cord to connect these two facilities.
Right.
I mean, it's somehow we got to move away from the I syndrome. I. You have 200, you have 300 plus thousand people that you have to provide a service to. You know, you are a service driven organization, both
Yeah.
city and county.
Yeah.
So I wish they
How do
would
I
get
provide the best service to at the most price? That's so Commissioner Stewart and y'all are sitting in these meetings at this point. Y'all start asking that each other that question: how to provide the best to our constituents? County, that's every citizen in the county. When they come with the city of Fayetteville, is most specific citizen in the city. How can you provide them the best at the most? When y'all begin to work toward that end, then you're working together for the citizens of this community. Mr. Floyd, speaking of working together for the citizens of this community, we saw a bill that is kind of bottlenecked in North Carolina, and it addresses something that the city is directly talking about trying to deal with. Let me say this before we get into this. I just need for you to know, Floyd, that every time I see something pop up that I really was cheering for on the council, I get a little annoyed because I feel like we could be 5, 6 years down the road with some of this stuff if people would have just not been fighting me because they didn't want to see me do anything. Because abandoned buildings, it's a sweepstakes building in the district that was the kick strip club down on the end of Murkison Road. With the catalyst, council saying, can we identify every abandoned building in this district, commercial buildings? Secondly, can we process whereby some action, if y'all do not be property, dilapidate. Now,
what now.
Now there's a House bill, I think it's six, I think it's
okay.
5-9, I think it's 5-9,
that
that would provide the city some assistance in addressing
these concerns with abandoned buildings and all of this. But the key thing of it is you got the building association and you got department association. When it was discussed with some were on board and then came off the
Right.
deal because they said that the cities have enough enforcement power in order to correct some of the abandoned buildings and houses that we have. But you have to look at it when we talk about city growth. We we always talk about fire and police and sanitation. But one of the things that now don't get me wrong now, my concern is code enforcement, and you got a lot of people that say when we talk about mental health issues, are there. So we all can't work on the same one, the same concern. But I support those that have other issues. But again, we have to address the abandoned building that we have in our community. And this is a perfect example of this. This is a house in between two houses. Yeah,
And do
I
the two
mean,
houses
this house.
like this, Floyd?
No, 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 no. This house has been like this here for years,
So
and
somebody
still
has
is there
to live with their neighbor,
as their neighbor. As
and
their neighbor.
nobody is
Now,
living in this house.
no, haven't been living in it for years. And at the same time, now it also lowered the property value of those houses around it, but it also has some four-legged visitors
Oh yeah, because this
of
is
that
gonna draw rats and snakes and bugs.
everything. It's allowed to sit in a community when the others try very hard to keep their property maintained. And so,
What neighborhood is,
well, if you
or
don't
what
mind,
zip code? What zip code?
I don't know what zip code, but it's over by Cape Fear Valley.
Okay,
Okay.
because I'm gonna tell you, it's a that up here, point, it is in University Estate here, and
Well, see,
that
this is
was
what I'm saying.
What look, you got to tear this.
I mean, so this is what I'm saying is that through code enforcement, I have an alarm system here, at my house, and after three times that the law enforcement agency visit mine, they start assessing me. And so let us share in this with the landlord and the tenant and the city of Fayetteville. Out there, the city, like any governmental body, can set aside X amount of dollars to address these concerns, assess that to the property before the property is sold or sell the property, that it can recoup its money. But at the same time, it provides a safe environment for the citizen to live in. This is not a safe environment, you know,
Not,
because you walk through there at night, one of the crawling things might say, "Well, I got here first," and you just happen to cross my
not
path.
just as a woman, I would be leery of walking past that any time of day because somebody could be hiding in that with the intent to
Well,
snatch my butt in and do me harm in this abandoned building.
but see, that's what I'm saying to you. You've got to be able to address these concerns where that it can be a shared, and that includes the tenant, the, the landlord, and the
Yeah,
city of Fayetteville,
yeah,
all working together to provide a better quality of life for its citizens there. But when you look at it, and that now the city was addressing it, saying that maybe after 3 years that they first they must register, then after 3 years they come back. By that time, I mean the building will be there. It's already before they boarded it up. It's already
yeah,
about to fall down.
yeah.
The uh, the, 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 the plywood is really what holding the building up. I'm joking about that, but we got to be more aggressive to that, not to allow these kinds of things to stay in our community.
Right. When it comes to these
I
signs,
just hope
I'm seeing campaign signs pop up, and I thought it was a little. What's the deal?
No, I don't believe it is, Chief, because first the city used to send us a sign, send a notice out saying that this is what it is, X days after the election, that the signs
Right.
must be removed. But the city has been a little bit more lenient in the past years with signs because in the past years, Chief, I have lost many signs from the
Okay.
city
Look, and Mr.
on a
Floyd,
picture.
and the people used to at least have a courtesy where they would tell you, listen, if you're missing your signs, go check the dumpster behind City Hall. Possible that code enforcement you can go and collect,
Yeah,
but they
I
didn't. It
mean,
wasn't none of that. We ain't get it from here if you.
so that to me, I I think the city is 30 days. I'm not mistaken. It's 30 days prior to the election
Okay.
there, and if it's not placed in any right of way wherein that it has what has an adverse effect on the driver as he or she
Right.
approaches the intersection. So, but the city, they have been a little bit more lenient, but not this not this early.
You
I don't.
have them if you sign in front of your house long. That's your business, and you can if you not on public property. Like I'm seeing when they up and double check just to make sure you're not going to lose your signs because they're pretty big, and that means that they cost a little.
Yeah, well, I seen both. I seen a red sign, and I seen a sign with a star on it, and I seen another sign that's on the ground, so to speak,
Yeah.
red and white. You know, so I seen those as I
Yellow, and I'm seeing them too.
I seen them as I moved through the city, and again,
Right.
it's a little bit, early.
Early. It's a
But
bit early.
it's politics, and you. try to get the jump. But sometimes when you get the jump, sometimes when you get them up too early, you help your opponent.
Yeah, or when you get to jump, they get to jump on you. Yeah. Speaking of helping
Yeah.
yourself, and it being that time for just trying to get your best leg up, we saw an endorsement come forward from the North Carolina Education for the position. Individual saying that their thoughts about that, Floyd.
Well, it's the president, which her last name is Kelly. She's a teacher here in Cumberland County,
Mhm.
and she believes that Josh Stein is the best person for the office of governor for the state of North Carolina. And
Mhm.
Josh is a Democrat over the four Republicans that are also running for governor. But
Right.
politics is about negotiation. So you put all of your eggs in one side, and that side is not that does not win, then the one that who you are against gonna say, why should I be
I
supporting you?
remember.
Or why should I should be why should I be supported? See, so I think that it's all right to support, but if you are such an
Hedge your bet.
organization, yeah, so you go 50 over here and 50 over here. And so whichever one that win, my organization will have a relationship. Okay. But if you put all of them over one,
Sometimes you gotta be quiet. You when was House or Senate seats. I can't remember exactly which it was, but I remember when a key figure for the city came out and that seat lost that he endorsed. We paid for that.
yes, yes.
And it's like you kind of want to tell, well, I'm gonna need you to who you want to vote for, but don't go city in a position where you done ticked off these elected officials against them. I know what it was. It was Washington D.C. The this person came out and was endorsing um uh appointed to the her name. She's a she ran for office. She's in the her, why is her name escaping me right now? You know who I'm talking Senate. She ran for Senate in why
But I'm trying to figure out
I
your
want to say
black
Patricia,
female,
but that's her name.
your black female.
Mr. She a big deal. She's a
Oh, 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 wait a minute now.
you know the
Oh,
woman name. You about to make me Google. Hold on.
okay. It wasn't the young lady down by Elizabeth City.
Supreme Court.
Erica Smith. Erica, a Supreme Court judge. I just, that has slipped my
Hold on.
mind.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not Cherry Beasley.
Sure.
Beasley. No, it wasn't her.
Okay. The only the only other one that was Amber Adam. Uh, you, you know, she she ran and she's up by Charlotte. Charlotte Mecklenburg. Okay.
No,
But
I'm
then
really
in quick teach, you got to be careful about how you go about doing endorsement. But here in Fayetteville, Cumberland County, our executive branch has said to us many times that you all don't know how to vote. I'll tell you who I want you to vote for. So that's how we are blessed here in Cumberland County. We don't have the skill set to vote without being told how to vote.
right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's
What is
Cumberland
this?
County now.
Mr. Floyd, why can't you help me remember this woman's name right now?
I'm just trying to say, what part of the state is she located?
She from here.
from Fayetteville.
She oh, Mr. Floyd.
You're
Hold
not talking
on.
about Goodson, are you? Are you
Yeah,
talking about
what
Goodson?
say her whole name. Patricia
Uh,
Goodson?
yeah,
No,
yeah.
I don't think so.
But she's from Fayetteville. That's the only one. I mean, she ran. She
Yeah.
ran.
Yep. 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 That's it. That's it.
Okay.
Wasn't she just appointed to that's it. Thank you, sir. Because she was just appointed to serve at Father help me, Jesus, what school
No,
did she?
North Carolina Central Law School.
Yes. Yeah, thank
What?
you,
Well,
Mr. Floyd. Pull it out of me. Thank you, sir.
you
But
see,
that's what it was. He was on board with this individual was on board with Patricia Goodson. She did not win, and her opponent who won wasn't fooling with us because of that.
well, I mean, that's why you have to be very careful. But here in Cumberland County, again, I say we cannot vote without being told who to vote
Who
for.
to vote for?
You know, we are good for that now.
Yeah.
I mean, even if those persons are providing quality service for you, they may not provide quality service for a person, and that
Right.
person will then tell you who to vote for. And we are crazy enough to follow that suggestion and recommendation.
Well, the reality is it's not just here. It's not just here. But here's how it ends up affecting us. Guess what we still don't have in North Carolina?
What's that?
A state budget.
Well, what Teach, now we you have to look at, as I always said to you, Teach, politics is negotiation.
Yeah.
State budget is, as you look at it, is that there's certain things and certain programs and projects that drive state budget. There's these big chairs want certain things, and if those things are not included in
Yeah.
the agenda, it sort of move the budget along a slow process. We talked about casino, we talked about legalizing marriage. All of these things are important to some of these members who are on the conferee committee. And so the
Hmm.
process of it is going to be slow. And our school system is going to have an effect on that. And they are opening about how they are going to move forward during this fiscal year.
So speaking of the school system, and this is our final point for today, be advised that there's a rumor that there could very potentially be a bus driver shortage on the first day of school.
And so what you're trying to tell the parents is to be prepared to provide
Alternate
transportation.
transportation. And it boils down, Mr. Floyd, it boils down to what we're talking about. There are more stringent requirements that are placed on these bus drivers in terms of route because there's not enough of them. And then you have teachers, TAs, teachers assistants, who are now required to drive the bus. Let me tell you something. If I had to be a bus driver in order to be a TA, guess what I'm not going to be? A TA. Because I don't want to drive no bus.
you know, it's getting back to now of what the classroom teacher is saying, what the bus driver, the cafeteria teachers, and all others are saying. We are being overworked for the amount of pay in which we are receiving.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And and then again, that some of the buses carry 52 students, and that's 52 students that may be that you may have control over,
Right.
and you may not have, so it's a lot of responsibility. There's a lot of responsibility to those bus drivers who are the first one to approach the student to
That's
get
right.
the student to arrive on campus safely. And then
Right.
again, you have some people that have been late for work 3 times, and the fourth time the person said you're going to be fired. So
That's
he
right.
or she may forget to stop for the bus,
That's right.
you know, and so that's a problem. Or if the school doesn't close down that day because of icy roads or whatnot,
Right.
it's a lot of responsibility.
It's a lot. It's a
And a
lot.
lot of things. So,
So, Mr. Floyd, with that in mind, what do you want to leave with our listeners?
well, now get you some voter ID prior to the election.
Mm-hmm.
Stop by the Board of Election and get you some free ID. But the system was down yesterday,
Okay.
so you should be up to date. That would assist you in getting some voter ID. And
Okay.
look for the candidate that can best serve you. Don't let people tell you how to vote. You read the data on that candidate.
Right.
Again, it's so much good teaching the best of us and bad and the worst of us that it behooves none of us to have a discussion about the rest of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for perpetuity, that is like from now until forevermore. That's the gritty in the city and the word on the curb. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend because you don't want them to miss this information. September 14th, 6:30 to 8:30, streamed right here live. Candidates Forum. We're waiting on 7 candidates to respond. We will keep our Facebook page updated. Excuse me. Go ahead.
See, now, if we don't get the other seven,
We're not worried about it.
we are still going on.
That's right. That's right. And you can just infer whatever you want to infer from that as a voter, as to how, how you want to move with that. But we love you. We appreciate you. And again, we will be providing more information regarding Mr. Moan's memorial services as those details come together. And that's that. We'll catch you next week.
Have a good day, Chief.